a mobile talk message tonight, so we're kind of going back and forth a little bit. This will make a little more sense at the end, but for now, if you want to look at the words, that's fabulous. If you know this song and you want to sing along, you are welcome to do that as well. But keep it in your mind because we're coming back to it in a little bit. A 1, 2, 3, 4. I will sing of God's mercy every day, every hour. He gives me power. I will sing and give thanks to Thee for all the dangers, toils, and snares that He has brought me out. He is my God, and I'll serve Him. No matter what the test, trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet. I know God is able to deliver in time of storm. Mobile kinesthetic sermon today. Well, sometimes a song catches you and kind of just lodges itself maybe in your soul, a place maybe you didn't even know it was. Well, I first sang that song in high school choir, actually, and it was a time in my life when I was growing in faith, but not necessarily like sold out for Jesus. Yeah, it was a fun song to sing with my choir, and it was, it's jamming, as you're going to experience in a little bit. It's not even necessarily my most favorite song in the whole world, but little did I know that this particular song would just keep coming back over and over again in various moments in my life when I needed the promise, He never failed me yet. My name is Allison Antoine. My family and I have been coming here to Faith for about 1.5 years, but we've had many connections at Faith for quite a long time before then. I'm married to Dan, who is the director of programs at Okoboji Lutheran Bible Camps. And our 3 kiddos are Eliana, she's a junior at Okoboji High School. Amara is an 8th grader, and Joshua is a 5th grader, both at Okoboji Middle School. And I own 2 music studios in the Lakes area. One is called Kinder Music at the Lakes, and one is called Okoboji Piano Studio. But more about those all a little bit later. Music has always been a part of my life, and music really does have a way of getting lodged into our hearts, souls, and minds in ways that some other things can't. Music can bring joy and even comfort at times, and certain music can even remind us of the truth when we're a little too blind to see it any other way. As I was thinking about and praying about the direction for tonight, this song that we just sang, this old gospel song, kept coming into my heart and into my mind, and I needed that reminder. He never failed me yet, and I'm trusting that some of you need that reminder tonight too. So, Proverbs 16:9, which Evan so graciously read, thank you, Evan. It's his verse that has crept up into the top of among my favorite verses. I don't necessarily love the verse. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. saying, I really like making plans, and I don't like when they get messed up. But the Lord determines our steps. That actually was a theme verse at camp a number of years ago. And yes, it was set to music, which again lodged right into my heart. We can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. And as a recovering perfectionist, that is a very difficult thing to really appreciate. And I like to say that I'm a recovering perfectionist, partially joking. And at the time when we first sang that He Never Failed Me Yet song, again in high school, I grew up in central Minnesota, I had life all planned out. 17, 18, a lot of things, right? Or so you think. I knew where I was going to go to college. I knew what I was going to study. I knew what I was going to do after graduation. I knew where I was going to live. It was the map. The path was clear. Well, I did go to the college that I actually intended on going to, Augustana in Sioux Falls. And I actually was one of those crazy people who did keep their major the entire time and did not change it at all. I was a French major. And yet, the rest of the plan, so I got like that far, the rest of the plan didn't quite look like what I had thought it was going to. In high school, I knew I would never become a teacher. Oh gosh, absolutely not. I would never live in the Midwest. I would never own a business. I would never marry anybody from Minnesota. And if we had kids, I would never stay home with them. Well, needless to say, I made my plans, and the Lord determined my steps. He never failed me yet. College was a big time of spiritual growth for me. I had some great friends and some amazing churches and ministry opportunities in Sioux Falls, which really helped me to grow leaps and bounds. I also got to study abroad in France for a while, and I lived in the Alps, which was amazing, and I literally saw and stood on the firm foundation that we just sang about, the rock on which, it was really the rock on which I stood. And when I was in Sioux Falls, and that's also where I met Dan, and gosh darn it, he was from Minnesota. That was like number 4 on the never, right? I will never marry anybody from Minnesota. Okay, well, he was from Minnesota. Dan had actually already been working at camp because he graduated a year before me, and I was finishing up my degree. Oh yeah, do you remember how I said I would never become a teacher? Well, I did keep my major, but I added a major. I added an education degree. And camp, okay, so I was never going to be a teacher. I would never live in the Midwest. Oh no, camp is in the Midwest, and even worse, it's in Iowa. Like, being from Minnesota, we made fun of people from Iowa. Like, how could this be that I would live in Iowa? This is crazy. Oh man, He never failed me yet. I continued to work at camp until I found out that I was pregnant with Joshua. I was working part-time, and I decided to fully turn over my position at camp as the day camp director, which is the Traveling Vacation Bible School program, which Faith even still uses our kiddos, counselors, and teams now. So I decided to stop that and to stay home with my kiddos, our kiddos, full-time for that period of time. Yes, you might remember, I was never going to do that. And when Joshua was about 2 years old, through another God story for another day, I decided to gradually open up a music studio in Okoboji. It's called Kinder Music at the Lakes, and I decided that after reading a book about child development, birth to age 5, and it was for a continuing education class for my education license renewal. Again, another long story, but for another day. And so Kinder Music actually is an international company, and wildly enough, I actually took Kinder Music classes in the early 1990s in Minnesota. So it's really been a cool God story. And so in 2017, I became a business owner. I was never going to do that, remember? And then I added the official Okoboji Piano Studio as an official business in 2023. I'd been teaching piano off and on for many years, but officially 2023. Never, 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 never. He never failed me yet. The Bible is full of promises, and so many of them are promises we love and we should cling to. The first half of John 16:33 says that in this world you will have trials. You will have tribulations. You will have sorrows. Well, that's not a promise that I that we really like to broadcast wildly to the world, do we? I don't know anybody who has that on a wall hanging at home, right? In this world, you will have troubles. We don't like that. We don't like trials. We don't like challenges. And we have had our fair share of challenges, as you all have, unless you're Lachlan. Then he hasn't really had any challenges yet. Dan and I had 2 miscarriages in between our girls, Eliana and Mara. I experienced pretty severe postpartum depression. We've experienced the death of extended family members and friends. Business isn't always booming. There have been medical struggles, unanticipated financial burdens, consequences from our own mistakes or from the mistakes of others that have left wounds. There's been disappointments and heartaches. And again, like it's not hard to imagine what a world of trials and sorrows is. And really, the world itself is just a crazy hot mess sometimes, right? So we will have trouble. But the second half of John 16:33 says, "Take heart. I have overcome the world." My world, your world, the big W world, I have overcome the world. He never failed me yet. So Hebrews 10:14 is also right up there as one of my favorite verses, along with Proverbs 16:9. And it says, "For by that one sacrifice, God made perfect forever those who he is making holy, those who are being made holy." So when I think about that, because I put my faith in Jesus, like we sang in the song, God sees Jesus in front of me. But that does not mean I am perfect. Again, recovering perfectionist, so hard pill to swallow. But through every single struggle, trial, tribulation, sorrow, he's making us more holy. By that one sacrifice, God perfected forever those who are being made holy. It is a process, right? And we really won't be fully perfected until we see Jesus face to face. And I love that. No matter what my plans were, no matter what my whatevers were, God's got it, and he is working us into holiness. So, just like me, you will make plans, but the Lord will determine your steps. You will have troubles, but Christ will overcome. And you will continue to be made holy each and every day while you're still on this earth. And it's not always fun. But through it all, trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet. So to conclude, I am going to invite you to be my high school choir, or at least a replica of sorts. And I'm going to have you join us in singing this song, "He Never Failed Me Yet," one more time. Even if you've never heard it before, that's okay. My choir director just said, "Say watermelon." It's fine, no big deal. So I'm going to run part C. And this is a gospel choir song. I know Pastor Ben just got back from Canada where he got to experience some gospel fun. And so if you feel like toe tapping and, clapping, and, we might even invite you to do that here in a second too. So you never know what's going to happen. Ready? He never failed me yet. I will sing of God's mercy. Every day, every hour, he gives me power. I will sing and give thanks to thee for all the dangers, toils, and snares that he has brought me out. He is my God, and I'll serve him. No matter what the test, trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you out. He never failed me yet. Time to change.